Does that make sense about, listen, if I'm just being honest, the Sermon on the Mount is some of the most difficult scriptures to actually understand. One of the reasons is because of the way it's written. Another one of the reasons is that so many of those things in those verses have very specific meanings that if you don't know what those things mean, you're going to come out with the wrong interpretation. For instance, if you don't know what Jesus is talking about when he says the law and the prophets or the commandments, and you got your own idea of what that means, you're going to come out real screwed up. Right? Yeah. If you don't know that Jesus was prophesied as the lawgiver, that he would come and interpret the law, and you don't see that's what he's doing there, and if you don't know what it means to be poor in spirit or to mourn, blessed are those that mourn. Those that mourn are those that when death or corruption or sin comes knocking at their door, they cry out to God. Oh, wow. Instead of looking to their own works.
Yeah, okay.
Blessed is those that mourn. Jesus mourned on the cross. He cried out to God. Death came knocking at his doorstep. And he didn't look to his own works. He cried out to God. Blessed are those that mourn. Why did he cry out to God? Because he saw God's eyes were full of mercy. He knew who God was. And so he cried out to God. If you really know who God is, you won't ever really see a need to fend for yourself. You'll see a need to cry out to God who fends for the poor.
Right.
But he defends the poor. He defends those that are oppressed and afflicted. That's talking about sin and death.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
See, if you're lifted up, what did it say about Satan is in Ezekiel? It says he was lifted up in his heart. So to be lifted up in your spirit would be to shake your fist at God and to say, I don't care what you say, I'm going to get life for myself. You're lifted up in spirit. Poor in spirit is that not by strength of my hand, God, but by you and your grace. Cain was not poor in spirit.
Right.
He came with all his good fruit.
Right.
He wanted to be exalted by his good fruit. Pharisees.
Right.
Abel, poor in spirit. He came with blood, testifying to God that he considered himself dead to the life he could have through his own works. He said, not by strength of my hand, O God, but only by you and your grace will I ever have life. He was poor in spirit. He saw he couldn't do it. Only God could.
Okay.